We have here Jason Belmonte. Jason is the 2011 World Championship Mike Aulby Division leader going into the finals of the World Championship.
Yeah, it's the first hurdle, had to get over, and now the big one. You know, to go through Sean, Osku, and Ryan Schaefer is not going to be an easy task. But you know, if I bowl as well as I know I can, I'm going to be really difficult to beat.
You shot a 300 that second game. Fantastic. What gave you, did that give you the confidence to go into game 3 and shut them out?
A bit of both, yeah. I mean, the move I made was completely blind. The 2 practice shots I had were horrible, and I said to Dell and Chris Schlemmer, I'm just going to throw the ball great, and if the ball does what my head thinks it's going to do, I'm going to win this game. And once I saw the reaction down the lane, I mean, I was so confident that I was going to bowl a really good game. I made a good move, threw the ball great. I think that's probably one of the best games I've ever thrown. And then you have to also realize that going into the 3rd game, it can be at times a curse to shoot 300 the game prior. You want to leave those big ones to the last one.
Right.
But you know, I just knew that I had to forget about it, as difficult as it was. Just it never happened, and then try and do it again.
On top of that, mind Barry, that you said, Schlem mentioned that you went to a ball that you normally wouldn't use just because of the layout. How did you know to trust that ball?
You know, you throw a ball down the lane enough and you see something, and I always feel like I can manipulate that ball to how I want to see it go down the lane. So when I saw those 2 practice shots and they didn't look so good, it wasn't like I thought it was a bad ball choice. I just knew I wasn't throwing it the right way. So I made a couple of adjustments, and like I said, once I saw the ball roll the way it did, I knew I'd made a good guess. And if it didn't work, I really don't know what I was going to do, and that was like my last option. So I was kind of grateful that it stayed there for 2 games.
So going into the World Championship Finals, you're bowling against Schaefer, you're bowling against Osku, you're bowling against Sean Rash. We've talked about how this particular arrangement of how it's 1 game a limb due to highest scores. Do you think this is going to work in your favor heading into this finals with having Osku and Rash being super high reps?
Well, look, you know, whenever you've got those 2 guys and me on a pair, you can probably bet your bottom dollar that the pair's going to hook a little bit by the end. And for me, the more that the lane hooks, the better it's going to get. You know, I'm kind of hoping that when it gets to that point, I'm still alive. You know, the format, just don't be the low man out, Jack, and that's kind of what I've been doing every game. I make sure that I've got 1 pin better than the guy in front of me, and tonight I hope that I'm a couple of pins better in both games, and let's be done with it.
Well, best of luck to you, and congratulations on going into the finals.
Cheers, son, I appreciate it.
We have Chris Schlemmer here, Storm Bram rep, with Jason Belmonte's winning balls. Let's go from start to finish.
Well, we got the winning balls and the 300 ball, so we'll get it started with the critical theory. The one he used in the first match was one that we felt we had a good look with in practice. After seeing the lanes and how they transition and all that stuff, we knew going in before we got onto the show that we were going to need one a little bit stronger. So, you know, he said, "I'll do whatever you think you need to do." So I drilled him a couple balls. And like I said, when we came out, obviously with the way the guys were attacking them, you know, Fagan playing a little bit straighter. Obviously, Kretzer, he slow curves it, doesn't have the big rev rate, so it wasn't really tearing the lane down. And Jason actually used the pin up one. But what we found is, you know, throughout that first game, obviously it was a pressure cooker all the way through. The ball read the lane okay, but he really had to be speed sensitive. And so the idea of going to the reason why we drilled this one pin down, even with his offset thumb, we also put an extra hole in it, just to make sure it picked up and just kind of rolled a little bit more. Not going to be a big change of direction, but just a heavier roll. And you know, his philosophy, you talk to him in a second, he's not a big fan of the pin downs or the hole down, but we just knew we needed something a little bit stronger because of his strike pattern. And you know, after he got the first strike, start that second game, and it kind of looked like it was going to week 10. From there on out, it was 10 back, messages flying everywhere, and it magically turned into a 300 game. And you know, then there in the title match, it was the transition yet again, and you know, he actually threw the pin-up one a couple shots in practice, and it was still just way too long. You know, the pattern never really developed like we anticipated, and you know, the smoother rolling one seemed to be the answer. You just had to throw good shots. So.
Well, that is very interesting, and we appreciate your time and the explanation on Belmo's winning balls.
Thank you.
This report was brought to you by Powerhouse. Powerhouse is the official PBA locker room supplier. For more information, go to www.powerhousebowling.com.